Hey everybody, welcome to another session of the Era of the Dragons, a little D&D show that I put on here on my channel with my friends here. Speaking of my friends, why don't we go around and tell everybody who you are and who you're going to play. We'll start with you, Silver.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch and on YouTube, and now I'm back on Twitter, foolishly. I don't know what that was about, but I am going to be playing tonight Fensiris, who is a Dragonborn rogue.
All right, Jaden.
Hey, I'm Jaden. I also go by Soliloquy. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on most social media under Fat Sapphic Bro. I'll be playing a tiefling barbarian named Grief. Grief uses he, they pronouns and a combat wheelchair. The combat wheelchair is designed by Sarah Thompson. You can find them on Twitter under Mustang's Art. And in real life, I am an ambulatory wheelchair user, so I use a chair in game.
And Penny.
Hello, I'm Penny. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character Gift, who is a human warlock druid multi-class. And yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's do a little recap and tell everyone where we are. After an attack on the town of Brambles upon the river, our heroes were tasked with investigating the activity of a cult of dragon worshippers that had set up a camp nearby. They also had another motive of saving Gift's sister, Vitha, after she was captured by a dragon, a blue dragon, who was also taking part in said attack. You eventually found the encampment, skillfully entered it, saving Vitha and returning her to her adventuring party. Further investigation of the camp revealed that there was a dragon hatchery, subterranean dragon hatchery, where they were raising dragon eggs. After a less skillful but still successful infiltration of the hatchery, you rescued the dragon eggs. In the process, you found the intentions of the cult who is known as the Restoration. You found that they intend to summon Tiamat into the material world. After saving the eggs, you left them in the care of an archdruid who you met before, one Amare, and set back into town. Upon reporting back to Sir Oakenroot, you were informed that you were formally named as envoys to an upcoming council to deal with the cult problem. You will be representing the enclave of druids that you had met. VIPs from around the realms have started filtering into town, and upon seeing the entourage from the Republic of Vosna, Gift, you notice that the elf standing before you, the important person, has a shadowy figure wrapped around him. And that's where we pick up our game. So yeah, you're in town. This entourage has entered. One man is wearing robes indicative of his station in the Republic as some sort of ambassador. Tall elven man, dark hair, dark long hair, very fair skin.
Have we long rested?
Yes, you would have long rested.
Good question.
I was like, I am not at full health.
That's a problem.
It's an important D&D question to start off. Have we long rested? Can we long rest?
It's a short rest or long rest territory.
Okay, so this person is an envoy. I assume they're riding like up in a cart or something.
Actually walking amongst the people here. So there is a cart nearby that you probably disembarked, although you didn't see that.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So this shadowy figure, I mean, I have an assumption and therefore Gift has an assumption, but is there any like relevant way for me to test that hypothesis?
You could make some type of check. You could say Arcana.
All things I'm good at, like Arcana, which I have a 0 roll in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. This is why I failed out of wizarding school. Aha, the dice like me. That's a 16.
A 16? Well, you You definitely think this is a presence that you are familiar with. Wrapped around this man, like whole, like almost embracing him in this shadow. But as this man walks away, it turns and regards you and forms a face,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mm-mm.
falls to the ground and comes towards you and says, "Ah." Takes a big sniff of you and says, "Ooh, you have gotten more powerful."
Gift. I guess nobody else can see this. They can just see Gift. So
Yeah.
Gift turns like green. Has that look of throwing up about her. She probably reflexively like takes a step back. Even she's been doing combat for a while now. She probably takes a defensive stance, not like going into initiative, but like it's just an automatic at this point.
Mhm. And he says, "Oh, don't need to worry. I'm mostly done with you." And says, "I have other things right now, but it's nice to see that you're getting exactly what you always wanted. Didn't I tell you you would?"
If it was to do anything, she would either look crazy or worse, hit somebody with like a spell or something. So, given her personality, she probably cowls because she can't do anything. She probably just like goes into a fairly submissive stance at that point and sort of nods.
Are we with Gift at this point, or is this
I would say
have we
yes.
not met up yet?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would say yeah, probably.
So potentially we're seeing her reactions, even though we don't notice the shadow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you like see her fine, then suddenly afraid, then suddenly defensive stance, and then suddenly like bowing in her maid, like her sort of maid persona.
I mean,
All
the
with nothing
thing I would
happening.
Fen, like the second you got into a defensive stance, if she noticed, she probably pulled out one of her spirit blades and just went back to back with you just in case. And so doesn't see the rest. Just like, all right, what are we doing? What do we got here? What
Are y'all okay? What's going on?
I don't know. Gift saw something.
Gift doesn't react. Like she looks at you. It's not like she's in a trance, but like it's like when you actually you probably remember you when you first met Gift roughly what 3 weeks ago now. In game.
I think it's only been like a week.
Oh, I thought we spent more time traveling. Okay.
Um, yeah, I think I put it probably a week and a half at this point,
Okay.
almost 2 weeks.
So for grief, it would be like when Gift first walked into her shop, like completely cowed, completely like unable to speak, unable to like function. Eyes averted, looking at the ground.
Probably can't really talk about this.
We should let's get inside real quick. How about lunch? How's lunch sound for everybody? Yeah, lunch.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Go play
Okay.
with your friend's Gift. I'll be seeing you soon. And it fades back into the ground and follows that elf away from you.
She sort of does the like, the sort of half bow and follows grief, like, sort of 3 feet behind style. Just total shift in personality.
Where do we want to go?
I don't know what's good in town.
DM. I would probably know this, but I don't know this.
I mean, probably the best food in town is basically where Gift is living and somewhat working. Working on getting that chef's feet. And that's the hanged hog.
Okay, yeah, that feels safe. Let's do that.
All right.
Oh, yeah. You all head to the hanged hog, and you are greeted by. Oh, I have it. You are greeted by the daughter Brenna, this elven girl, young woman, and she will welcome you back. I mean, you're basically regulars at this point, and tell you to go to your table. She'll get whatever you want.
Fantastic. We'll go sit down.
Okay. Yeah, go sit down. Gift starts to recover a little bit after, a minute or two. But she's sort of, the equivalent of like drawing tic-tac-toe boards on with her finger on the table. Very repetitive, sort of simple accents, like self-soothing actions. She keeps looking up at both of you like she's going to say something, Nothing happens. Then she pulls out her chalkboard, and this you've never seen, so this would be noticeable. She goes to write something, and her hand just like the chalk hits, and she stops. And she tries again, and on the third time, she slams the chalk into the chalkboard, probably breaks the piece of chalk. No writing.
Oof.
Huh. That's new. Maybe some food. Food sounds good.
That's right.
I'll take a nice MLT. So do they serve that here? Make sure the tomatoes are thinly sliced. That's important.
What is the M? I'm afraid to ask this question.
Mutton, lettuce, tomato.
Okay,
mutton.
okay. My little vegetarian heart, I thought you said mushroom, lettuce, and tomato.
That would also be good. Don't get me wrong.
You think mutton would. You're like, yeah, we can definitely put mutton on a piece of bread for you. Yeah. She'll bring out the bread is like slightly too thick because it's like hand cut and just yeah. The tomatoes are good. So.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. So it looks like you're failing to bluff there, Gift. I don't know what's going on there.
And then she hits the table. There were visuals there that may or may not have been seen.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. Unspeakable, huh? Okay.
Give it time.
Yeah. Did it have anything to do with that elf that came out? Because that was around the time you saw that elf dignitary, and then you froze up there a little bit.
I'm going to actually pass this one over to you, Mal. As we described the sort of special flaw, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to say you can probably answer to that.
Yeah,
So,
well, any answer would be good right now.
Anything kind of indirect, like you.
Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense?
She nods slowly, like kind of the like circle nod to like.
Okay. Huh. Yes. No. Kind of.
She nods yes to that.
Interesting.
You saw something we couldn't see.
That feels too direct. She tries to answer, but like freezes up.
Okay.
Did you where was that elf from? I don't.
Do I know?
Yeah,
that's just information.
That's just information. Yeah, you would know that's he's from the Elven Republic of Vosna.
She writes Vosna on her chalkboard.
Okay. All right. So the location is not the problem. Good to know. Is it going to cause any problems when we go to meet the king and represent the Druid Enclave?
Ooh, good question, Silver. I feel like I can answer that. That's sneaky. She answers with a question. I don't know why it wouldn't. I think she can say that.
Okay.
This is fun.
So, Grief, I think one of the two of us might need to speak for the trees, as it were, because I think Gift might be otherwise occupied, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gift shuffles in her pack and hands you her speech. As a reminder, she has a natural 20 on her pre-prepared speech.
That's right.
That's right.
She's ready for that part.
She might be okay for that.
I
guess we'll just be like ready to, jump in if need be.
Okay, wait.
Not that I know what the hell I would say.
Look at the speech right now. Is there any word on that speech that you cannot say?
She wrote it, so she wouldn't have done anything she can't say. It's arguable whether she could even write it down. So she shakes her head.
Okay. It might be good then. Just let us know if you're overcome while we're there, and then just hand us the speech if that's the case.
She thinks about it, and she kind of does the light bulb moment, because this she can probably get away with. She writes on her chalkboard, extra planner. She is a warlock. and that's not a direct statement. That's probably as close as she can get.
100%. Even
do I
as you
know about
write that,
warlocks?
though, even
Go
as you
ahead.
write that, you can feel it like you are
Pushing on
pushing
me.
against it.
Yeah.
You know?
So her hand probably shakes. It's probably not her normal handwriting. It takes a second, so it's scratchy, extra planier.
You're Jim Carrey struggling with a pen and liar, liar. Got it.
I've never thought about it, but Gift is kind of that character.
It's true. It's yeah. It's like the negative.
Right? Or Grief. What's a warlock? What do you know about warlocks?
GM, what I know about warlocks.
Make this would be some sort of intelligence, arcana, or history.
9 for either.
Warlocks are a thing. They happen. For reasons. Occasionally people just get spell casting. Some people put it up to like being a fiendish nature. Some people you hear stories of people selling their souls to a devil in the crossroads, and getting spooky powers, but it's kind of stories. Maybe they're born with it, maybe it's a sugar daddy, you don't know.
Okay, so it's some sort of magic. So it's somewhere between wizards and sorcerers. Those I know. Met plenty of them. But, all right.
Wizards think they're icky. So.
Yeah, but they're wizards, so...
We already have opinions about them.
No, all right. So Grief, you're saying that warlocks might get their powers from deals. Gifts. Did you get your powers from it? Fenn's just suddenly remembered she's in a tavern. Did you get your powers from a deal?
Gift doesn't answer.
I'm
Actually, at
gonna-
that, she probably goes back into the sort of cowl mode.
So lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Lunch, yeah.
What'd y'all order? I know I got the muttonless tomato. It's looking pretty good, but
the tavern special is a perpetual stew.
Fantastic.
They brought it over from when they moved from the underground, where the doors are. So it's been brewing for centuries.
Fantastic.
Kept at least at 140 degrees, right? To avoid diseases and such. And then, okay.
I assume it's like a vinegar mother. Once they put whatever it needs back, it just sort of pops back up and keeps going. Oh, goodness. Well, after some food, Gift recovers. I mean, definitely not like doesn't have much of a pep in her step, but it's okay. Yay, trauma.
All right. How long do we have until the big meeting?
It will be the next day.
Oh, okay. Anybody have anything they need to do in town? I don't know if we're gonna have to do anything immediately after this meeting. The king likes to give, assignments to people who aren't part of his kingdom, which seems bizarre, but whatever. So is there anything you desperately need to do in town before tomorrow?
Don't think so.
Don't believe so. Let me check. There was some discussion about getting like functional armor for Gift. I don't know how realistic that is, but if it's possible, that's something I would be interested in.
Oh, hey, have you met the blacksmiths in town? They're pretty good people. They helped out with the fight the other day.
Gift shakes. She met the youngest one a little.
Mm-hmm.
She nods.
Yeah, all right. I'll show you where they're at. They'll be able to help you out with that.
She's got cultist armor on.
That's right.
That's right.
Although we might need to just ask their advice for where the leather worker is, given that they're blacksmiths, but that's okay. Actually, Grief, do you know anyone in town that does leather working specifically?
I probably would. GM.
Yeah. You would know the leather worker in town. Let's come up with a name for the leather worker. Does the leather worker have a name, Jaden?
Thanks.
Reverse.
That's my prerogative, right? Like we're
I
building
am
this
not
together.
co-GMing. What are you talking about?
I'm just gonna say the leather worker in town is a hunter named Hen, and she mostly just, she mostly deals with like pelts and things like that, but she can make leather armor if you ask her nice enough.
Okay.
Cool. Let's head there.
So okay, yeah, you head there. She doesn't have a sign or anything. You can kind of tell by the smell of the area that where she's working, just kind of that tanned hide smell just wafting off. And through like racks of what eventually will be fur coats and things like that for winter. You see her in the back, this dark skinned half elven woman. She is just like, she is scraping off a hide, and for a moment she doesn't notice you, but then she turns and says, do you need something?
Yeah, our friend here needs some armor.
You have the
Do we
cultist
know
armor?
each other? Like, have I delivered to her? Are we familiar with one another?
I would say like parts of your chair are leather. You probably have needed her help before to like either procure
Okay, cool.
leather or
In which case I would come in and be like, hey Hen, and like, yeah. My friend here needs some armor.
So Gift, are you wearing the cultist armor right now?
Not around town, but I have it with me.
Oh, you have it with you? Okay. She says, yeah, I can do that. Are you looking to have it like you're looking for it padded or just something simple?
She writes, and she's not a martial person, but she writes on her chalkboard, the kind with bits of metal.
Fancy schmancy. Okay. Um Studded leather. And you have some leather armor as it is. Um she says, okay, well, it's gonna take me a couple days if you to buy the leather and the metal pieces and everything. That's gonna be 45 gold pieces. If you have leather, I can work something out.
She points at the cultist armor.
Okay. She looks at it. She like stretches it. She takes a knife and like scrapes part of it just to see the quality of it. And she smells it and she says, with this material, 35 gold.
Yeah, Gift nods.
I assume you want something a little less gaudy.
She nods emphatically.
All right, I gotcha. How do you feel about colors?
She writes blue ? She points at her robes, which are blue.
For 5 extra gold, I can make it blue for you.
She nods.
She's like, all right. She goes around. She immediately just like pulls off like something, a wall like full of flowers, and she's like, I gotta get something boiling. And she's off like concocting a dye for this now.
Very cool. That will be very helpful later.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in a few days you will have some very nice blue studded leather armor.
All right, so we're gonna have to stick around for at least a couple of days. So if the king asks us to do something 2 days from now, we gotta say, can we make it 3?
Yes. At one point, we had gotten plate armor that was Blue Dragon themed. Did that go to you, Fen, or is that just something we're going to sell off?
It would have been something we were gonna sell off because, out of character, I can only equip light armor.
Gotcha.
Proficient.
Okay.
Yeah, out of character, Gift's actually more proficient than Cirrus, but there's no character reason for it.
Oh my gosh.
That's fair.
Druids tend to not like wearing metal armor. It's not their thing.
I don't. I know you're a little busy back there. Would it add too much time if you were to do the similar treatment on another set of leather armor? I think Gift's got the right idea here. I'd like a little bit more protection out in the field.
Oh, she says, yeah, same deal. She says, so that's doing 40 gold, costs 40 gold for what I'm doing for you there. It's 35 gold to rework the studs into it, into your armor. Do you want it dyed too?
Well, I'm kind of about blending into an environment. If you could make it a nice gray, maybe that'd be good. Do a lot of hiding amongst the rocks.
Oh, I have the perfect colors for that. And she was same deal then. 40 gold.
Okay, here you go.
She's like, she's doing her head. Yeah, 3 days. I can do it. I'll push back some orders.
Much appreciated.
It's not quite winter yet, so people won't be hounding me for a while.
Who can I sell this plate armor to that's worth 1,500 gold?
Do you ask Hen that?
Yes.
She says, have you talked to Kessa?
Good call.
No one in this town has 1,500 gold.
I know, right?
Adventurers breaking the economy wherever they go.
Really.
You get the Skyrim warning the second you try to sell it. No.
Where are you, mud crab merchant?
Yep. Yeah, you can go to the Steel Sparrow, see if Kessa's there, and you can ask her about it.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
To the Steel Sparrow. Thank you, shopkeep.
All right, so you head over to the Steel Sparrow, and Elric is there up front. He is basically you see him dump like a new batch of nails into like a sack, and he sees you come in. He's like, "Oh, good, something to do."
Did you what?
Hey, man. I'm looking to unload this. I'll pull it out and show it to him.
He says, "Oh, that's really nice. We're."
Don't ask.
He's like, okay. You looking to like I don't know what you want me to do with this.
I want to sell it to Kessa potentially, or if y'all know of somebody who would want it that I could talk to.
He says, oh, he's Kessa, and Kessa will come out. She's dripping sweat, and she says, "Oh, it's you. What can I do? That is a nice set of armor."
Yeah, you want to buy it?
Oh,
Or do you know who would want to buy it?
a king, a knight, somebody with money to build a set of armor like that.
Do you possibly do any sales where like you sell for a third party and you just like hang it up in the shop?
Well, what I can do is I can maybe like melt it down into metal. It's not worth as much to me in that form. But I don't get a lot of people coming in wanting a set of armor like that. I could do.
Definitely show it to the king here, I guess.
Look, I need to. My problem is that I will need to like turn a profit somehow. People who want these kind of armor, they want it custom, right? They want it to, show off their nobility. So, I could do 500 gold for it. And also I can maybe throw in some like weapons and stuff if you want them.
What do y'all think? It's party loot, so.
Well, as an aside, if we do show it to the king, he might just want to keep it for a trophy and claim that it's his. So
Yeah,
I think
good point.
500 might be the way to go.
All right, you got it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get this melted down. I can also like turn part of it into like a breastplate for you, something smaller, something lighter, but that's up to you.
Hmm.
I mean, like, this is a full set of armor. It's most people don't wear this into battle. It's a little cumbersome, unless you want to feel important.
Yeah, it's like a lot. It's really a lot.
Is there anybody besides the king in town that likes putting up displays then?
Well, I could probably take it on the road with me and see if somebody wants to sell it, but I don't have any current commissions with the king right now. He might want it as a trophy, but
Gift rights. Can we sell it to the nobles?
I like that enterprising spirit, possibly. I don't know what they're looking for.
You can certainly try.
I know somebody's coming into town. Hold on. Who was it? Yeah, a wit deer. You can call him Wit. Well, I do. He's let me see. Let me make sure I have the pronouns right. Yeah. He's not so much a noble as like a custodian. He has a keep up in the north that he kind of works out of. He thinks he's more important than he is. He might like it.
Interesting.
Rich half-wit sons. Must tell you all, as a player who usually runs paladins, I'm dying inside.
That's super fair.
I have never had a party sell a full set of armor. You're like, no, I'm wearing this. This is mine now.
Right. But no one can wear that. The only person
Yeah, I
who
was
can
gonna
wear a
say-
breastplate in this party, I think it's me, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, Grief's only going to get negatives from wearing any sort of armor, and we're both sitting
Yeah.
there like, light armor, please. And
Yeah, I can only do light armor and medium armor.
even like if you wear any armor, you get punished for wearing it too. It's obnoxious.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, Grief has a few features that I think it's just the unarmored thing. So the unarmored defense.
Yeah, maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just the armored defense, but even so, it's a nice defense to have, and like,
Oh, and the fast movement. So
oh yeah, that too.
So do we want to try and sell it to someone else? Or do we not care?
he's not the brightest guy. You could probably get him to pay full price for it.
Let's do it. We
Or
gotta kill
even-
time anyway.
Or even better, get a favor.
Love
Hmm.
favors.
All right, we can try to do that. You wouldn't happen to know where Wit normally stays in town, do you?
He's probably staying at the castle, to be honest.
Oh,
I mean, this many important people in town, they probably want to stay at the keep.
Well, we do a poor job of representing the druids if we come in looking like salespeople.
Sure.
Gift shakes her head, points at herself, and kind of like smiles widely. Points at the armor. Points at you, at Finceris. Divide and conquer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Sure. Grief, how are your sales skills?
What would that be? A persuasion
Yeah, persuasion.
+2?
All right. So it sounds like you have more experience than I. Good.
You know, you're used to a little level of customer service. You know, you technically work retail with with FA.
True, I do technically work retail.
I'm more in the acquisitions department than customer service.
That's fair.
But, yeah,
Plus
let's
7 in persuasion, so I'm going to write in my chalkboard. People don't buy items, they buy stories.
And you're good with the deception.
She looks affronted.
All right. So I don't know how we nonchalantly visit the castle.
We're supposed to be there in a day.
That's true.
Hmm.
Huh.
Are there
Is
other
it-
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, who was the armor made for originally?
It
Who was
was
wearing this?
it was made for the half dragon that you fought.
Okay.
So it would have to be resized and everything to a normal humanoid.
I'm just trying to think if Grief or I would fit in the suit. Because I feel like carrying the suit in is going to look bizarre. But if the suit really doesn't fit us, is that better?
Actually, Grief, it would probably be fine.
What's the kid's name?
The kid's name, the younger one, his name is Elric.
Right. Does he look like he'd fit in this armor?
Yes. Well, it would still take some resizing, the straps and everything, but yeah, he could.
Gift kind of stops and says, didn't Billy Bob say Elric was going to help us? Maybe he could wear it, either for fighting or for modeling.
Elric, you any interested in going back to the castle at all?
Yeah, I could do that. You want me to wear the armor? You want?
Quickly out of character check. We have been told by multiple people at this point that Elric is like available to join us. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure that I remembered correctly. Gift scratches her head. Aren't we supposed to be adventurers? Don't adventurers wear armor and hit things? Points at Elric.
You say that, and he looks to the very fine maul he has made that is like on the wall, like as a display item. His little masterwork that he's continuously working on. He says, "Oh, go ahead."
She scratches her head again and says, Billy Bob says that you want to help, and he left. She kind of looks expectantly.
He turns to Kessa, and Kessa says, "Yeah, go."
Gift recruiting fantastic. People. This is terrible.
He's like, I can't go now. He's like, I gotta. If you want me to wear the armor, it has to look right. He's like, I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give me the afternoon. I will be with you.
Gift looks at you two and kind of like
Fine with me.
Sounds good. All right.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of gold, but out of character, I want my tank to have armor.
It's true.
Makes sense to me. He will take the armor and he will take it immediately back into the back of the shop, and you immediately hear hammering and
cool.
Well, then.
I also figure 1,200 gold armor. We just hired the kid for a year or whatever.
Yeah, seriously.
The dude was running around at chainmail, a chain shirt.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Some warriors were run around in chain bikinis, so he was much better off. I don't know.
All right. Any other business y'all want to attend to?
Am I as armored up as I can be right now? As is best for my character.
In as much as I don't think you can wear armor.
Yeah, just light and medium.
You could get a shield. That's the best you could do.
I think I'll leave it for now.
Oh, but you use a great sword. Never mind. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I thought. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Well, Elric's getting all armored up. Gift and I are getting new armor. Grief is. Hey, what? Who made your wheelchair?
Well, Afe and myself and a handful of other merchants. I mean, it takes supplies from a lot of different types of merchants for us to get it all put together.
Could we incorporate maybe a shield on the back to protect you when your back is turned?
I can certainly look into it. Look through what I can do.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so that is definitely something that you can look into and figure out. But yeah, if there's nothing else, we will go ahead and move on to the next day. You are times in a medieval world are a little weird. So basically, you're just told to be there midday.
Hmm.
So whatever that means for you. So when you, I assume you all get together, and make your way through town, and toward the castle, which is just a buzz with people, running, or like servants doing things, speaking to other like representatives of very important people. There's people from all over the world here, um, or at least the realms, this area. Um, Mostly humans,
Hmm.
a few elves. Um, that's mostly who's in this area. So you don't see many other of the races here represented. But you, upon arriving, you are invited in by a servant, another like a young man, a young human man, who will walk beside you, like kind of lead the way into um, a main chamber where they will be having this meeting. Um, Kind of a large room with just chairs all set around, very fine plush chairs. Um, as you're being led in, Gift, this servant says to you something a little cryptic. Says to you, um, "If you need any assistance, my name is Corin. We watch and we serve."
Does that mean anything to me?
Make a history check.
Another thing I'm very good at.
Mhm.
That would be a 10.
A 10.
I'll take it.
You're vaguely aware of a kind of subset of magic users, um, that operate kind of outside of the wizard's control.
Right. You mentioned that Gift probably has a little bit of contact with these
Mhm.
folks. Okay, that
Yeah.
tracks.
This is that group.
Okay. Gift nods as as is appropriate.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, he'll never look you like directly in the eye or anything. He just guides you, and
Mhm.
as you are important people, and as you all come into this room and are seated and placed throughout the room, in your place,
Mhm.
important people are all here. We're going to go ahead and take our break. So yeah, we will should all take a break, get yourself hydrated, move your body if you need to. Yeah, and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see what happens then. See ya.
Looking forward. Thanks all.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our game. I hope you, well, first off, thank you Raiders for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of our session. Coming in right at a good time. Cool. Yeah, I hope you got hydrated, moved your body, and we'll get right back into playing our Dungeons and Dragons game. So yes, you are all in this chamber, this fine chamber. Tapestries all along the walls. It seems they brought out the nice tapestries. And you are all seated around this room, as various people from around the realms are introduced by name. The first introduced is, of course, King Henrik of, I'll remember the towns and everything, the King Henrik of Ravenhold, who is the host of this event, who is on his throne in this room. And going down, Archduke Rogziel of Crescent is, you see this man, he's wearing like a crumpled teal cloak. Although it has a gilded hem, it's like very nice, but it looks like he slept in it last night. He is definitely, you definitely get the presence of like of a an academic person. Like he's kind of hunched over, like he's been like looking at like over a desk for years upon years. He's got glasses. He's balding, a human man. Um, and they keep going down. First, Hunter Rain, Rhain, is introduced. The representative from Kalia, the mountainous area of this world, seems to be uh, indeterminate gender, but like a large presence in this room. Um, a little bit older, kind of middle aged, but you can tell like they wear leathers and armor of their title of a hunter. They are the first hunter, and you can tell that they have like battle scars, and um, their skin is toughened by being in these like high altitude regions. Um, and then they keep going down to they mention they introduce custodian at Whittier of Winter's Keep, who is wearing just the finest furs, um, dark hair, very wrinkled face. You can tell like he's like leaning back in his chair to show off the very fine jewelry underneath his furs. He seems to not be taking this as seriously as the rest of everyone else. He's kind of just talking while he's being introduced, asking some sort of attendant for something. And the last person to be introduced is the ambassador from the Republic of Vosna. Penny, who you saw, still has this shadowy presence wrapped around him. His name is Romaris Latheran. Romaris, last name Lathaeran. He's wearing those same robes. He stands very upright, very straight, hands in front of him. Very almost regal in a way. And he's just like scanning the room. It seems out of place with how just rigid he is compared to these important human people here. Even as it's being introduced, there's so much crosstalk in here. Eventually, King Henrik says, "All right, let us get to the business." Oh, sorry. No, wait. You are all introduced as well. You are introduced representing the Enclave of Druids. We have 3 people: Grief, Fensiris, and the Orator.
A generic half elf nods.
As you have disguised yourself to be here. Next to King Henrik is, of course, Sir Oakenroot, his lead mage, kind of sitting there assessing the room as well. King Henrik stands up and he says, to the business at hand. We are all here because we are all under the same threat. We have all been recently attacked by this group calling themselves the Restoration. My kingdom has done its best to dispatch of them, mainly with the help of our envoy from the Druids here. And he points you out. I have heard good things. And in fact, I would like to ask you to speak on what you know of this group.
Okay.
Ben's gonna look over at Gift and then look where she's looking and make sure she's not distracted by the elf.
No, she's in like full performance mode. She looks at the two of you and she nods a little bit, like a sort of the if I may, and without looking at her notes, of course, because that's how you do, especially when you roll the natural 20. She gives her speech, which I am not going to do, but I will say her logos has to do with describing the religious artifact we found with Tiamat in exquisite detail. So the bulk of her speech, her logos, is this is what we saw, and this is the numbers that we saw, and these are how they were armed. Then she's going to move into a pathos of we all have a responsibility to protect that which sustains us, which is the land, which is the animals, and which is the forests and waters that give us our agriculture. And she's going to end with an ethos of the importance of nobility and the obligation of nobility to the people and the land.
Excellent. Okay. I'm gonna go around and just kind of explain how different people react to different things about your speech. The Archduke is he kind of hangs on every word. You mentioned the worship of you did mention Tiamat, right?
Tiamat, the oddness of the black dragon, and then the relief in detail.
Okay. He is very intent and has that seems to be his main interest. This is very odd for a group to have such lofty goals of, or such brazen worship of a deity like Tiamat, especially in these realms. Awudir, as you talk about the responsibility of nobility, he is just, he actually will cheer that on, here, as he is loudly drinking in this event, whereas most people are kind of trying this is mostly a diplomatic affair, and Awudir does not seem to be taking it that way. First, the Rain, the hunter, she just listens intently as this goes on. King Henrik seems proud of he's like, yes, this was a good choice. And Romaris doesn't move, just listens. As you finish your speech, and as Awudir is cheering you on, there's some light applause, and a speech well given. Romaris says, I heard tell of eggs, dragon eggs, being kept by this group. I do not believe that was mentioned in your rousing speech. What happened to these eggs? And with that, the room goes abuzz. They're eggs, what is this? And he looks to you lot intently.
If neither of you say anything, because Gift will wait a second. But if neither of you say anything, Gift will say, it is the belief. So let's see. It is the belief of the druid that dragons are foundational to the environments in which they live. Any eggs that may have been found will be cared for by hunters and druids and raised to take their space, their natural place in the order of the land. Which doesn't actually answer anything.
No. Rain, the first hunter, will scoff at this, and they will say, the dragons are a scourge. They've been a scourge on Kalia for centuries. I have fought one myself and have the scars to prove it, and they should all be exterminated. How dare you let them stay? These dragons are clearly being bred as weapons to be used against us. And you just let them?
Many would say the same of your kind.
I'm going to need a charisma check for that. You can intimidation. I feel like intimidation would be the best bet.
Well,
she says, they say, how dare you? Have you fought a dragon? And won?
At which point Gift would say, we are not here to discuss beliefs about creatures or values. We are here to deal with the common threat. Any other conversation is unnecessary and unhelpful. And I will make a persuasion check.
Go for it.
That's a 24.
Oh.
This is literally what I was made to do.
Right. You will see that Rain will back down from this. They have said their part, and they understand that this is a diplomatic table. This is not a play. They have Rain is the only one who's openly armed as well,
Mhm.
like has like a side dagger.
Mhm.
Um,
And I didn't challenge the belief, just said this isn't the place.
right. Um, the Archduke will say, "Do you what is the nature of this worship of Tiamat? What do you think they seek to gain from this? What is it they are trying to do?"
Quick out of character, I believe Grief rolled well on that and actually has the most information. Is that a correct memory?
I believe so.
I'm going to look at Grief and say, would you speak further? And then sort of sit down in the way you do with diplomacy.
So I will explain to the best of my memory what we saw and what it conveyed and the feeling that we got that they are trying to bring Tiamat back, but there's the weirdness of the blackhead, and yeah, I'll just kind of fill it in a little more nicely than I can actually in real life.
Um, you mentioned the weirdness of the blackhead, and this is the Rugziel, the Archduke, and his will kind of adjust his glasses and say, the it it seems that they have their own subcults, from what we can tell. Um, some worship blue dragons, some worship red. It's all chromatic. The What's worrisome is, what do they know that can unleash Tiamat? What is with this symbology? This is bigger than small raids and loot and plunder. That we can handle. This is ideology.
Yip nods at this and says with complete conviction that tearing a hole in the plains and dealing with the extra planure is dangerous. And she takes a side look over at the elf, but hopefully no one notices.
Make an insight check.
Not bad. 24 again.
Oh, 24. You see, this man does not give a lot of information. But you see a slight smile as you mentioned ripping a hole in the plains. Just ever so slight. Ramirez says, I believe the question is, what do we all intend to do to stop this from happening?
Well,
Go ahead.
oh no,
I think the natural thing that would be, at least for Gift, would be to look in Oakenroot's direction. He's there, correct? And he's a wizard of the circle.
Yes.
She's not going to say anything, but this is his department.
You look to Oakenroot, and he stands as he, like, it seems almost like a symbolic like yield. Like I assume you like
absolutely
give something a yield, and he says he will stand, and he says, I speak in two regards here, as both the let me actually remember his title.
Jafar, the Jafar to the king.
Yeah, he's a Jafar, but he has a name.
Master of the Roots, I think is what you said. No, wait, that's different.
Oh, that's of course not in my notes. Cool. So
Magi Commander?
Magi Commander. That would be something I would say. Yeah, so he says, I am speaking as Magi Commander of Ravenhold and also a member of the Helamanor Society. The best thing we can do is track down where their money is going. This is an organized effort. It seems to be well funded, well equipped, well outfitted. It's not just ideology, it's money as well. Did you, in your raid of their encampment, did you get any sense of where money is being funneled, where they are taking the loot?
Checking my notes. I know we found some correspondence corresponds between ROM, J, and FL found in office hatchery status reports. So status reports might have had data. Was there anything in those status reports that would be useful to this question?
Yes. You did find information that you found maps and things like that of routes kind of all over the place, but all like stemming from Versailles. Something is set up in the capital city of the elves.
Diplomatically, I'm not going to like name a space. I'm going to show the source documents. So I'm going to hand those to Oakenroot and welcome him to pass them around for people to inspect. They can come to their own conclusions.
I mean, I could be wrong. They seem to be putting up some sort of offering to their statue, but I don't think that was all of their money. I don't know if we know exactly where all of it went, because when we saved the citizens, they just packed up and ran, which was weird because there really were only 7 of us in a large encampment, but they were fit enough to run away from this place. And I don't think we only found a small offering relative to what they've gathered up. So it must be going elsewhere to fund elsewhere.
And they now have the same data we do.
You see that there are now like glances at Ramirez to speak on this, and Ramirez will take a look at these documents, just kind of look down his nose at them, and he will gently fold it back up and hand it back around, and he will say, "The Republic is prepared to cooperate with this council in any way it deems fit."
I'm going to stand pat. We're out of my pay grade.
King Henrik he sits and he thinks for a moment, clearly taking in all this information, understanding that if there isn't a consensus, he is meant to propose something here. And he says, "Well, our envoys here from the Druids have proven their worth. Perhaps maybe they could investigate this further. Follow this. This seems to be, we can handle moving troops, keeping towns safe, things like this. It looks like there's other positions noted on this map. Maybe we could focus our efforts there. But it sounds like we need to follow the money, as my Magi has said. Would you be willing to investigate this further? We would, of course, compensate."
Are we okay with doing that? I mean, I don't know if y'all want to head back out on the road so soon.
Gift looks at the king and says, "It would be an honor to serve further. We would require 3 days to prepare."
"Then 3 days you shall have." He says, he looks around and he says, "Are there any objections to this?" And the first hunter, Rain, looks, just kind of waves and dismisses it. And the Archduke will say, "Crescent we have concerns, but we believe this is the best course of action despite them." Iowa Deer is asking an attendant for food. And he looks up and he says, I'm fine." Ramirez says, "You have the full cooperation of the Republic."
What would his formal title be? Like emissary or ambassador?
Ambassador.
"Thank you, Ambassador. We will contact your office when we arrive."
"I look forward to hearing from you."
They're both lying.
Hey, you never know. Maybe Ramirez has been cursed to only tell the truth.
Yeah. The king will stand and say, well, then I draw this first council to a close. And he will tap his scepter onto the ground. And with that, people just kind of, they don't really go anywhere, but now they
Food
just all
starts
just,
to appear.
yeah, food starts to appear at this point. The same servant who escorted you in comes to serve you all.
I would say as soon as it is acceptable to leave, Gift is out of here.
Mhm. Yeah, you have, a nibble or two.
Same.
Yeah, you have a nibble or two and like jet out. Yeah, unless you want to talk to anyone individually.
Ben is actually going to work her way slowly over to the first hunter if he's sticking around.
Yeah, they are sticking around.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I couldn't help notice you were a little concerned about the idea of dragons in general, and I just wanted to try to give you a different perspective if I could. See, I live up in the mountains. We've interacted with dragons in the past, and yeah, I look like a dragon. That's fair, but when it comes to a dragon, if they are left to their own devices, if they grow up without parents, without any sort of guidance, a powerful creature might see themselves as the master of a land. That's true. And that's probably what you ran into. But if instead a dragon is raised in a society and recognizes that they can use that power to be a steward of the land rather than the master of the land, they are able to help out their fellow creatures rather than be a scourge on the land, as you said. I know it can look like with a powerful creature, all powerful creatures are dangerous weapons, but the reality is that a dragon can be so much more. But it's a question of if anyone gives them, helps them see that they can use their powers for good, if they can, that their powers are inherently helpful for their land, just generally. If they're able to see more than themselves, and that's what the orator was trying to clarify. That's like, if they found any eggs in these pursuits, the eggs would hatch, and then the right people would be able to teach them and show them how to use their power for good. You know what? With ultimate power comes ultimate responsibility. Some things like that,
make a persuasion check for me.
Love it, Finn. Well done. Fail or win, it was still well done.
Incredibly well done.
16 plus 0, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Rain, they take a breath. Initially, they started this conversation by kind of rolling their eyes, like, "Oh, here we go." But as you kept speaking, they're like, they say, "You don't know what we've seen up in the Kalian Mountains. You look. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate the perspective of anyone from the Draconic Principalities. It's not. My people do not need or seek your help. We have managed dragons on our own. My only goal is to make sure that we are not terrorized by dragons anymore. Now, could there be a better way? Sure. But there's a way we've done it, and there's a way we've survived. I feel your conviction, but a people as hearty as the Kalians do not change their ways that quickly. But you are welcome to come on a hunt with me anytime."
Well done.
Understood. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Fenn's going to take a few more bites of food and then not sneak off. She's gonna she kind of, even though she's got the worst charisma, she's like, yeah, all right, I'll be the party representative here. That's fine.
While walking down the lane, proverbially, Gift is going to turn to you, Grief, and just start furiously writing on her chalkboard. How did that elf know about the eggs? There's only two possibilities. One, they have eyes in the cult, or two, they were scrying us. Either way, bad.
That's a great point.
She looks paranoid because she
Oh
is.
shit. Oh shit.
This is a good time to remind the GM that I have an amulet of proof against detection. You can't scry my ass.
I'm super aware. I'm very aware of this.
Paranoid Gift.
I mean, that's a reasonable paranoia to have here. I don't trust anybody that was in that room.
No, they scried through Mr. Elkington.
Damn it, it was the elk all along. As soon as we're back with Fen, I'll make sure to run all that down again.
It was a good party. I didn't see you two after a while, but it was good. I don't know. I think we're making some headway here. That's good. Gift, did you say anything about eggs? I don't
None
remember
of us said
that.
anything about eggs. We were
Yeah,
very intentional about not saying anything about eggs.
that's right. Yeah. Huh.
He again
Weird.
writes, either he has eyes in the cult or he's scrying us.
Did we got the map back, right?
Yeah, specifically, you said that we got all our papers back.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at the map again. If I recall correctly, the elves were located somewhere on there, the Elf Kingdom, right?
Yes. So the Republic of Vosna is on like the west coast of this realm. It actually shares a border with Ravenshold. So Versailles is basically you follow the major river that Brambles on the river is to the sea, and you will run right into Versailles.
Okay. Assuming he has also come back from the party at this point, Gift will say, "Did you enjoy yourself, Elric?"
Oh, I totally forgot Ulrich was there. He says that was stressful.
She nods.
I have never heard so much said by people not saying anything.
She nods again.
Welcome to the world of committees.
She writes, honestly, I'd rather spend my time in a pit of vipers.
Yeah, no, that there's a museum that I work at back home. They have a entirely volunteer committee that they meet once a month, and it's 3 hours of just torture. It's bad.
That's a real thing. I'm on a board of a few nonprofits. That's a real thing.
I used to be in so many committees.
Elric will say, Kessa was right. That Atwood dear guy is clearly the weak link amongst these people. I guess if we need anything, we just poke that.
Yeah, I mean, like he seemed amenable. He likes flaunting his station, whatever station that is. So
they called him a custodian. What does that even mean?
Gift shrugs, says at best a gamekeeper.
Usually that means in landowning terms that you are in charge of an area so that you can pass it on to the next rightful heir. I don't know if there's like a young child that they're waiting on for that or what that means for him, but it's probably one of those situations where he's taking care of some sort of keep for somebody else.
Well, he's certainly living it up. It was fun to be just the muscle with you, though. I could get used to that. And like he has his like this full plate on.
Oh, yeah.
And
A bag of cereal fell. It's fine.
I thought his helmet was going up.
We used to have cats. We don't have cats anymore. I'm like, what's the cat doing? And I'm like, no, it's just ghosts. It's fine.
So much worse now. Especially because sometimes I think I see a cat. It's just something moving in the corner.
See, any paranormal phenomenon when you have cats can be blamed on cats, and then you just live your life. But anything
It's
else,
fantastic.
yeah. But in the absence of cats, it's definitely ghosts, and that's not fun.
We know no peace now.
Okay. We put Elric in a suit of armor, and I have to know, does Elric have a last name? And why is it Alphonse?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have a last name for him. That's
Alphonse it is.
oh no. Sure, why not? Well, it's a middle name, but that's all. Oh. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess we prepare. We were left the cart, which is wonderful. So we'll resupply, wait for our armor. I mean, I don't think there's anything to really look up. We don't know exactly what we're looking for.
Well, they said follow the money. So that's the big thing. We got to figure out which one of these sites makes the most. I think we're going to have to follow the trail of money, like literally, which means we're going to have to go stop to stop, which is going to be annoying. But unless is there anything clear on this map that seems like this is the spot? This seems to be a good holding place for money goods.
Yeah. So basically the various like spots that are pointed out on the map are Iceport up in the north, Lower Arduos and Kalia, and Zarkan in Southern Reach. But all of them have basically there's routes on this map, and they all lead to Versailles.
Right.
And Versailles is the major port on this part of the continent. So it makes sense that like people would set up whatever they're doing in this place.
And it's also in the Elven Republic.
Yes.
Okay. So Versailles might be where they're holding the money, or the money is making its way to these other places so that they can buy whatever goods they need and bringing it to Versailles. So the three of you, what do you think makes the most sense? Should we head to one of these other cities, assuming that they needed the money for goods elsewhere, or that it's all making its way to Versailles for some sort of weird offering?
Gift writes, whether it's the origin point or destination, there's an end of the string in Versailles.
So Versailles might be the starting point, and then we can follow it backwards if we need to.
That's the direction I lean as well.
Okay. Is that where Ramirez was from? Is that where he was? Okay.
That's why I said we would check in with his offices when we arrived.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I'm not going to do.
So we're going to be traveling with a random elf into the city, is what you're saying. Cool.
Hello, I am an elf. I was named Kirill after our great god.
It's not a bad choice. Yeah, so it sounds like we have the next step of the adventure. And yeah, you have the time you requested. The king said it will be so. So no one expects you to even leave town for 3 days. So you are able to prepare whatever you need to prepare. Yeah, so you get your armor all set up. You now both have studded leather. Yeah. Being a hunter herself, Hen has like set it up. So painted your like dyed your armor so that it blends better into like tree bark. It has like this green gray color to it, so you won't stand out in places, and it won't be reflective. Like black is actually a terrible color for stealthing because very few things are that deep of black. So so this should help you, like it should meld into like stone and various other things pretty well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate it.
She's like, it was a joy to make them. I don't get to make much armor. I mostly make coats for people.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense in town. Well, appreciate it nonetheless.
Delete the old armor because the new armor was made from the old armor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So there's a whole thing about studded leather not being accurate that Gary Gygax just misunderstood a drawing, and that's so funny to me. But that's that's neither here nor there.
Listen, it's a fantasy. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if there's nothing else, is there anything else you want to do while in Brambles Upon the River?
How
think
do
I've taken-
you... Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think I've taken care of everything in town that fencers would need to take care of.
All right, cool. GM, how do you want us to do wheelchair upgrades?
You can talk to Afe about it,
Okay.
and you can start like paying for the supplies for anything you want her to build.
Okay, then I will do that. I will get started on barricades.
Okay. Yeah, you talk to Afe, and to reiterate, she's a human woman, the artificer here in town, and she says, do you come to her with like your own like sketches of an idea for your wheelchair, or
Yeah, probably.
she takes a look at them and she says, these are really good, and she says, this is a good idea. She will tell you have the price for what the upgrade is.
It's 400 gold for both altogether.
Okay. She says, look, if you want me to get started on that, you just need to put down the capital and I'll get started building on it.
Yeah, I've got 200 that I can do right now.
She says, I can build one of them for that. I mean, it'll take me a little while, but
yeah, let's go ahead and get that started.
she says, okay. She will get started on building you a barricade for your combat wheelchair.
Very cool. I am going to purchase an extra axle and an extra wheel and caulk for our cart because we're going much further than before.
Okay. I will say,
Did
all
Billy Bob
told,
leave
that's
us with the cart?
Yes, specifically, we asked Stephen.
Okay, wonderful.
he took a boat. He went downriver.
Hey, there's some boats you could like put a cart onto.
Yeah.
I've lived in the Pacific Northwest. I know this.
But yeah, I'll say actually that's probably the more expensive part of a cart. Probably say, how much is a cart in D&D? What do things cost in D&D?
You're the
Money
GM, you get to make it up.
Yeah, cart cost 15 GP for a whole one.
Okay.
Wow, that's cheap.
I'll say for all that together, 5 gold.
Alrighty. I would definitely say 5 gold with the ability to caulk against water and fix it is well worth the money.
Mhm.
I played this game. Being Oregon Trail.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what you're gonna approach, because this will be the longest journey you've taken so far.
Yeah, we've been within a day and a half of our civilization up until this point.
Mm-hmm. And this will probably be a good week's journey
Mm-hmm.
into Versailles. So yeah,
Oh, hey, Gift, you should probably let the druids know how the thing worked out, given that we were their entourage. That's not the right word, but whatever.
She nods and she'll send a bird
Common words. I don't you know, still learning the language. Common as a second language.
Yeah, so you send off a paper bird and it flies basically due north to Coralon's Rest. Yeah, it heads off in that direction, and as you gather your cart, you gather yourselves. Elric will put his full plate armor in the back of this cart and mostly keep his chain shirt on to walk alongside with you. And he is excited to, in fact, like the day you're leaving, he just is running across town with his stuff like in his arms. Like he is so ready to go on his adventure and prove his salt. So and yeah, you all set out due west alongside the river towards Versailles, and that's where we're going to pick up next time. I love running this game. This was a good session, y'all.
This was good.
Awesome.
Ready to bust some heads this next time, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, no.
You
So
busted some
session,
verbal
combat
heads.
session. That's how this has to work, right? If we were doing 3-hour sessions, we would have a social and a combat every time. But 2 hours is a little tight for that. So
Following the Dimension 20 model.
yeah, exactly. I think it's a good model. So yeah, I guess we'll just do our outros. So yeah, I want to just thank everyone for joining in, and I hope you enjoyed our little game. We'll go ahead and do our outros. Silver, we'll start with you.
Hi, everybody. I am Silver_Bulette here on Twitch as well as on YouTube. And on Twitch and YouTube, every Monday I run a session of Capes and Caverns, which is my superhero variant on Dungeons and Dragons with a completely new set of classes and races, and also Origins, which is a race style system. At any rate, point being, it's 8:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday, most Mondays, under Silver_Bulette here on Twitch. And then you can also find me on most podcatchers as All the Web's a Stage, which is a short play podcast, which hopefully will be airing again soon, but there's currently 30 episodes available right now you can listen to in your ear holes.
Awesome. Jaden.
Hey, I'm Jaden or Soliloquy. You can find me on most platforms as Fat Sapphic Bro. I mostly hang out on TikTok and make a variety of various videos.
Awesome. Penny.
Okay, once again, I'm Penny, and I have an upcoming D6, Open D6 system game called Paranormal D6 that I'll be hopefully talking about a little bit more in a later outro. But if you were a fan of the D6 system, old school World of Darkness, or like things like the X-Files or Supernatural, maybe something you're interested in. So I'll keep you posted.
I'm definitely interested, personally. Yeah, so... And I'm Archangelic. You can find me here Sunday nights at 7:30 Pacific, running this game, The Era of the Dragons, for these wonderful folks here. You can also find me on Twitter at Archangelic. I don't really post too much there, but yeah. I want to thank you for joining us for tonight's game. If you've missed any of our games, you can check them out on YouTube. The link is in the chat. In fact, it's right. Oh, let me put that there. Tube. There we go. If you want to support this game and monetarily and other possible future projects, depending on what I decide to do, you can support me on Patreon. The link is in the chat there, patreon.com/archangelic. And lastly, I want to thank .user, our producer, for helping us stream the show. Couldn't do it without you. We all appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, again for tuning in. We love you, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
See y'all. Thank you.